No lead paint. Hey, Davey, how's it going?
Yeah, going all right.
Good.
So you're also doing painting projects.
Yeah. So we moved in here like 4 years ago, and we figured maybe it's about time we paint. So,
I know that.
Yeah. What are you painting?
We're painting the outside windows for our sunroom, all the trim and stuff on that. It's all been torn up by time. We figured after 10 years of us living here, we should finally paint the stuff that looked kind of crappy when we moved in.
Yeah. It's.
I am going to paint my house the week before I sell it, and not a day sooner.
That is right.
It's totally fair. I told them, like, if we ever move to a different house, we're just gotta paint it immediately so that we don't ever have to think about it again. And plus, if you do it when you move in, you don't have all your furniture already hung up and stuff. So yeah, because you have to move everything. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. For certain.
All right. Well, welcome. Yeah.
Real quick, Daniel.
Yeah.
The folder you gave me access to.
Yeah.
The images are like 500 KB a piece, but I need to know how many gigabytes you want me to use.
I mean, so it's a 100 gig folder, and I've only used like 14 gigs. So, I mean,
okay.
Go nuts. Like, I literally haven't put stuff in it in over a year. So, go nuts.
Stuff will be added.
Cool, yeah. And that'll be fun for me. It'll be like, I don't read the newspaper, but I'll happily tune in and see what new daily AI bullshit you've come up with. So,
yeah, the stuff you've generated, Adam, is bullshit. So
you know it.
It's beautiful, beautiful, wonderful bullshit. Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. I'm so happy to have you all here, and it's so good. This is
happy to be here.
This is the ninth game. Our ninth game. Is that right? Yeah, it is. I think.
Wow.
That's like 2 months.
Yeah, at least. And like, have we missed a week? There was like maybe 1 week.
Yeah,
like,
there was one
right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us go. Look at us go. Look at you guys go. You've been incredible. All right. Well, enough.
No, you're awesome.
No, you're awesome.
You're breathtaking.
Oh, we all need.
Shit.
Oh, no, so good. So good. Cool. Well, who would like to give the super happy fun recap this time? Just a laugh, just a knee slapper of a session last time.
Tim, are you the only one that hasn't done one of these yet?
I can talk while I eat my sushi. How about that? Would that be a good narration?
I would accept
for the
it.
knee slapping.
So, first off, my memory isn't that great, so forgive me if I forget various details that were important. We walked into a dark cavern. There was a dead tree, and it was chopped down, and it was used as some dude's mast. And the light system was provided via mirrors.
It was.
And that was a very important detail because we all were wondering how that worked. And now we know because we read the fucking manual.
Yep. My thoughts exactly.
Exactly. So, goatlings were doing bad things. They had kidnapped children and were tormenting them. And, pretty sure half of them were high. Magus persuaded some of them and saved them from horrible vines and more goatlings. And then there was a love interest. I've already forgotten their name.
Lorius. His name was Lorius. He was a satyr like you.
Glorious Lorius.
Glorious.
Oh my goodness.
Remember that. And really liked Magus, and I think there might be something there. And then we proceeded inside. Unfortunately, we not killed the goatling children, but we did kill the chefs. which I'm still a little fuzzy on the line as to where we're drawing killing and not killing.
To be fair, the chefs were cooking like human carcasses. So,
Which the goatling children ate and probably helped carry. We'll just overlook that.
To be clear, Theo's not advocating for save the chefs. He's advocating for also kill the children.
Just want to be consistent with our rulings, is all. Then we found a room that we didn't take a short rest in because reasons. But we did find jewels, and we also, because we didn't look close enough, realized that there was a flesh-bound book that probably has tasty tidbits in it.
Also,
And
because your
would have been
DM
useful.
forgot about it.
Well, we were in a rush as well.
Yeah.
And then I'd say probably the coolest deal in all of history went down, where a certain Medusa, Falbin, gave up his life for a bow. And was gruesomely torn limb from limb. So we got the horn back, though.
Indeed.
and the free bow.
And now we're on the
Quote, free.
for finding a massive ass mass and reuniting it with this horrible human being who eats people.
She's not even a human being.
She's
Horrible
not.
being. This being. Forget the human part. So that's basically how Theo saw it,
That's
as it were.
that's pretty comprehensive, I'd say. Yeah. Her name is Demetria.
Yeah, Big D.
Big D.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Geigen is named Jerry.
I thought
And-
it was Tom.
And so it shall be, according
So,
according to the wisdom of Magus.
also, I have a question.
Yeah.
I see in the room that there is now Pot of Awakening. Do you smoke it or do you?
It depends on what sort of shrub you plant in it.
Is this
Oh
the
my
stuff
goodness.
that all the kids were on? Because they seem to be having a pretty good
You
time.
you could absolutely plant weed in it, and that would, it would. So
I'm
it would
not
talk
sure
to you.
It
The
would
weed.
remain friendly
weed.
to us.
Sentient weed.
I guess that's a good point.
I imagine you'd have a Jamaican accent.
Probably. Oh boy, yeah. Well, you guys can, with your next Pot of Awakening, can do that. Although so the way I kind of like to think about magic items in D&D is that unless it's like super super mundane, there's just the one in the whole world. Like there's only one. I can't think of a magic item, like a single magic item.
Gallahorn.
Gallahorn, yeah. There's only one like Vorpal sword, or there's only one like Sword of Vengeance, or like these are, I don't know. The reason they have a name is because they are unique. You know what I mean? Like so. If I think of something that completely violates that rule, I'm happy to throw it out. So. Before we get going, I did also inspiration to you, Tim, for that. That was great.
Oh, thank you.
Before we get going, Gray and I had a bit of a back and forth about the afterlife and the underworld this last week for reasons. And so I had to do some homework because the book is kind of vague on how that all works. Like what happens when people die, or what's the assumption that happens when people die. What you guys know, you already know that there's like the ferryman that you have to pay to take you across the River Styx, and along those same lines, it does follow your kind of traditional Greek mythology underworld afterlife. So there's a Hades, there's a Elysium, and I think they're named exactly that. I don't think they have a close but different name. I think it's literally just Hades and Elysium. And so, good people go to Elysium, bad people go to Hades, whatever. I actually am not very well versed on it, so if it's more in depth than that, let me know. Lutheria's role in all this, because I think that was the source of the question, is like, what's Lutheria's role in all this? She is basically the kind of like Thanatos in the game Hades. I guess in Greek mythology, but like in the because the Greeks took that from Supergiant games.
Naturally.
She's kind of like the Reaper. She collects the dead, and distributes them. So, the common knowledge is that you die if you're a good person. Lutheria takes your soul and gives you to the ferryman, or vice versa. The ferryman. That I need to double check this, but Lutheria's part in it is logistics. So there is also common knowledge that if you like do something or things to greatly upset Lutheria, she can punish you in the afterlife. She has that power.
So effectively, Lutheria is like death HR.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. So she doesn't strictly rule Hades, or like Elysium. I would say she has kind of a tangential position to those places. But she does have her hand in death as a whole. So
I'm hearing Falbin is fucked.
We'll find out about 5 minutes, won't we?
This is, interestingly enough, my second D&D character who has specifically pissed off the god of death.
So I forgot to ask you about that when you told me that. What did you mean by that? What is this other character? I know we're dipping into other game, but I am curious.
I mean, like, I can tell you in the afterword, but...
Okay.
Yeah, not on camera.
Cool. So just in case anybody was uncertain about that, I was uncertain about it. That is Lutheria's role in all this. So she's not the master of hell and heaven, but she is directly involved in death as a basic concept. So yeah. So you guys better not piss her off, right?
Right.
Or we'll just never die.
Mm-hmm. So like I do like to think of it as like for the vast majority, resurrection and revivify is a thing. It's not like you go instantly into her care, if that makes sense. Because like Shade, you died and you didn't run into Lutheria. So stuff like that. It's not like the instant your lights go out, she has you kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a queue.
Yeah, exactly. There's an order of operations, as it were.
So many people are dying every minute. You can't expect me to get there right on time. Come on.
I mean, that's kind of true. That's really true. Like, she is a Titan, but she is not all powerful and all knowing and all present, So, that's absolutely true. Okay, that being out of the way, let's get back into it. Let me open up my notes because I don't have them open for some reason. Music. All right, so you guys had just wrapped up I think I'm hearing myself in Davies' mic.
Sorry, Anna was talking to me.
Oh, that's okay.
Wow.
All right, so wait, I'm still hearing myself.
Sorry, Anna kept talking.
Priorities, man.
Come on.
That's okay.
She was showing me pictures of Korean camping. Okay.
I don't know
What?
Korean camping.
It's
Camping in
like
Korea.
glamping,
But Korean.
but Korean.
Huh. Okay, that sounds
Anna
awesome.
watches a lot of Korean dramas.
I
and
knew
apparently
that.
They make fun of Americans for not knowing how to go camping, and then their camping is like glamping, just not quite with an RV.
Okay, that's immediately fascinating to me.
Yeah, send us pictures.
I don't even know what I was about to say.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No.
Everything. That's why I was muted.
That's
I think we changed our D&D session to talking about Korean glamping today.
Gray's like, no, don't do this to me. Don't take this from me.
One day a week.
Okay, all right. So you guys had just finished wrapping up the deal. The terms of the deal, let's just recap those. The terms being Demetria will promise peace between the Old Wood and the mortals in exchange for a good faith effort to reunite her with what remains of her sister, which resides in the cut down tree from the ancient glade. Also, as a part of the deal, you guys would get to take the Horn of Balmetria with you, and in exchange for that, Falbin would be killed in a manner of her choosing, which she would witness. And then, as just a bonus, as a party favor, Falbin would receive the bow that she was going to give to one of the teens after dinner. So, that's where we are. Falbin. The Gigan hoists you into the air. A hulking hand wrapped tightly around each limb, 2 hands palming your skull. His muscles flex, and you feel a split second of incredible pain as your joints dislodge and the skin and sinew tears away. Your heart leaps into your throat and then immediately falls away with the rest of your torso as it hits the stone floor like a wet sack of flour. There's just enough adrenaline in the blood that's quickly leaving your head to keep your eyes open as you see your own severed arms and legs held out by the Gigan like trophies of war. With a proud laugh, he tosses your head to the feasting table amidst expertly prepared cuts of human meat. As your head rolls over, you catch a fading glimpse of your friends. Kyra, in tears, frantically writing as she leans into Magus' shoulder. Shade and his echo standing mirrored in stalwart rage. Theo gripping his rifle, doing his best to calm Rue. You feel your snakes stop writhing and go still, and everything goes dark. And then... where is her music? Where did I put that? Damn it. Oh, here it is. Right. You find yourself floating, formless, as if you'd been reduced to your very soul. You are in some unimaginable space, bordered on a horizon too far to comprehend by angular walls of sickly, glowing crystal. Countless legions of ghostly shapes like yours drift aimlessly in this place, overwhelming your senses with their dissonant voices. Out of nowhere, a purple spotlight beams down over you. The cacophonous whispers around you stop, and out of the deadly silence, you hear the sound of heels walking on crystal. The footsteps stop just outside the radius of the light, and the figure speaks. All right, who do we have here? Falbin? Oh, what are you? Oh, no. This isn't what I oh, curse the fates. Those crusty, mewling whores. They saw this would happen. They knew I would forget. You've just done such an incredible job evading and slaughtering all my servants that this whole thing just slipped my mind. Oh, my darling, it's going to be all right. Just a little while longer, okay? And then everything will be fine. Don't be afraid. You did the right thing. Finally just letting it happen. I need you to stick with that strategy, okay? Leave those lapdogs of the 5 behind. Ooh, actually, maybe kill 1 or 2 in their sleep first, yeah? But then come straight to one of my temples so that we can stop all this madness. Falbin, you've been in so much pain for so long. I'm going to make it all up to you. I promise. Okay? I wish you could stay with me, but just do as I say, okay? I love you. Blows you a kiss. She stomps her foot, and the crystal floor below you cracks and then explodes outward, sending you careening violently out of this realm of souls. Back in Demetria's feasting hall, the rest of you watch as the Gigan tears Falbin apart and tosses his head onto the table, and just as Kyra is reaching for her bag containing the scroll of resurrection, the chamber rumbles. Loose dirt, small stones dislodge, fall from the ceiling onto the pristine banquet table, extinguishing the lit candles. The candles magically relight with intense purple flame, and Falbin's head begins to levitate, followed by his severed arms and legs as they float into alignment with his torso. They meet, and blinding light radiates from the wounds as they knit together, his form once again whole. Falbin, you are flying away from this spirit realm for a few moments, but just long enough to see the greater shape of its crystal borders. It is in the shape of a scythe. And just as you make this realization, your soul returns to your body, and you are awake and healthy, lying on the table, covered in your own blood.
Shade is instantly at his side.
Wow. I don't know what happened.
I believe it. Shade would turn and kind of glare at the Gigan and Demetria and say, I believe we'll take our leave now. And slowly trying to help Falbin off the table.
They both kind of step away, surprised at what has happened. They're just kind of looking at each other, mouth agape. But they allow him to leave. She says, "Wait, don't forget your gift." And she hands you this bow. It is made from a single piece of oak, and it has small twigs and leaves sprouting from it with the occasional blossom. And she says, "You have certainly earned it."
Falbin just silently takes it.
Shade would kind of let Falbin go past him and kind of back down the room as we walk away.
Well, I mean, as Falbin tries to walk, I would maybe. I'm having trouble.
Oh, game is paused. Sorry.
Having trouble walking. My legs feel different.
Shade would definitely notice this and like help you, like one arm, like put one of your arms over his shoulder, kind of. He'd crouch down a little bit. It's not like lifting off the ground, and just kind of help carry you along.
So
Definitely eyeing Demetria and the guy again as we leave.
you are at full health, but you do have the same sort of death exhaustion that Shade experienced after he died, which I believe was like a -3 to like it's kind of like Bless but backwards, where you have a -3 to attack rolls and saving throws, and then each day or each long rest you take reduces that number by 1.
How did you manage that?
I think it was a
Condition?
an active. Oh, so on your character sheet, it's up at the top. There's a little wrench icon, says DAE.
Yep, got it.
Or you can add like the effects. Also,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
do that too.
Yeah, like on your tab with actions and attributes and inventory, there's an effects tab. You can add a temporary effect that do that. But anyway. But otherwise, you are healthy, and the only sign is your clothes are, covered in blood and also ripped at the, where your arms and legs would meet your body. So your pant legs are falling down, and so are your sleeves. But otherwise, you're okay.
If no one else is moving toward it, Magus will give a quick look to Kyra and then come forward and collect the horn.
Yeah, and that is an item that you can pick up, so feel free to collect that into your inventory.
And yeah, then he'll go forward and just work on maybe ushering the kids out. And
Who had the Pot of Awakening, or should I just grab it? just grab it.
I wasn't sure who was carrying it, and that's why I put it as an item. So
Cool. I grabbed it.
cool. I'm just gonna move the kids out. We'll kind of just like hand wave any like traversal in this part, since you guys have explored the whole place. We won't have to worry about like vision and movement and all that. I did fix the walls, I think, that were having issues. So anyway, Demetria will follow you out, not, just seeing you out because you're her guests.
Kind of
Yes.
at this point, Falbin's starting to understand how his new old legs work.
Yeah.
how far does Demetria follow us out?
As far as the tree, she'll stop at the tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she just kind of, she sees the teens all gathered together by Corinna and Nick, and does somebody want to give an insight check?
On Demetria?
Yeah.
I think Magus would,
Cool.
if you allow that.
Yeah, I'm offering.
All right. Oof.
You're not allowed to roll anymore.
She doesn't look as like happy as in control as earlier, but you're not exactly sure what the replacing emotion is.
I do think that Magus would make a comment to her. In the order, it seems like I've been the last to leave. And I would turn to her and say, like, you missed some details too, didn't you?
How so?
You weren't expecting her to bring him back.
I will admit I was not. It is not her way, usually, and with as strongly as it seemed like she wanted him dead, I don't understand it.
I think that at least one thing we share. We don't like not understanding our sides.
Well said.
At this point, I think Falbin kind of searching for life would start looking for a potential sapling.
Yeah. I think Demetria in the deal kind of insisted that she be involved in that process.
No,
Or
it
no,
was
she
not
didn't.
part of the deal.
She didn't.
It was a specific request that Magus made, and it was not part of the oath.
Okay. I mean, she's gonna watch your every move.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, feel free.
Pick a
Would
good
I-
one.
Would I roll something for that?
Probably a nature check, or sorry, Thea, what's up?
A group check.
A group check or a group
Yes.
check? Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and make a nature check.
I'm gonna
Well,
Inspiration that.
Before the inspiration, I was gonna say
Shade interjected. It's all right.
Shade would say, seeing Falbin start looking around, he would, since Demetria is here, he would just straight up ask her, "You effectively gave us your blessing to at least attempt to regrow the tree. Would you be willing to point us to any hopeful saplings or seeds that would be the most likely? You of all people would know, and we don't want to mess it up if there's a chance."
Yeah, you can see her kind of tightly clenched fists relax a little bit as she sees you kind of rooting around the base of the tree. And she says, "I had hoped that one of you would elect to seek my counsel in this, her being my sister and all. So yes, I will do this." And she kind of walks into a little hollow formed by the tree, and this is where I wish I knew more about how trees worked.
And she can just magic it. She's a dryad or whatever.
There's so many different trees that way the trees grow. You'd probably be good with just guessing at once.
So she kneels down in this small recess among the roots, close to the heart of the tree, and she places her hand on the bark. The bark, covered in moss and clover. She places her hand on it and closes her eyes, and you see a tear fall from her face, and a small segment of roots growing into the ground from where she's sitting begins to move, and you can see the roots kind of start to draw up out of the soil, gently, smoothly, and she carefully takes a dagger from her belt and cuts the root free from the tree, and with two hands outstretched turns and holds a segment of root and stem about 2 feet in length. And she says, "It is best that whatever part of her still remains with this tree go willingly with you. And with my blessing, it has. Now please, take it. Take great care of it. And think better of her than of me."
Shade would take the pot and like drop to one knee and kind of root around and pull out some topsoil, put it into the pot, and kind of hold it out to her and say, if you would be so kind as to plant it in the pot.
Yeah, she she is a dryad.
Like, you are the master of this craft, not us.
She gives you maybe the first genuine smile you've seen since you've entered this place. It's not a smile of superiority or of trickery. It seems like a genuine smile of connection, you know. And she lowers the roots into the hollow of soil that you've created, and again closes her eyes, and you can see her thinking, and a small smile appears on her face as another tear falls, and the roots kind of stretch out into the soil and settle itself into the pot by itself. And she says, "There is one more thing I would like to do before you go." She nimbly climbs up onto the surface of the stump, and where you saw that urn before, she picks it up and comes back over to you, Shade, and she says, "This is all that remains here of my sister." And she opens the urn lid and gently pours the ashes.
Can I make a quick Arcana check?
Sure.
To see if her doing this will bind the tree in any way to her.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
What?
I said you're not allowed to roll.
What do you mean by that? Like bind it to her?
I'm assuming that she is going to spread the ashes onto the pot and the sapling.
Yep.
And so like I'm wanting to make sure because it was Magus initially offered as a deal of her having a hand in growing this tree, and she rejected that. And so he is allowing her to enable the first steps, but he wants to make sure that beyond this, she will have no claim to this tree.
Yeah, that's fair. I can't really say that you'd be able to determine that from that roll, but that is a thought that Magus has for sure. I mean, do you stop her?
I will message her
Okay, go ahead.
in her mind. And as she is doing this, I will say, understand that this tree will not be yours. You were offered that chance, and you chose to kill my friend instead.
She kind of sternly responds and says, "My sister was never mine. She could never be mine. I do not own her. I will never own her. Understand that."
I assume that exchange happened entirely over message, so none of the rest of us are aware of it.
Yep. Yeah, you see her like holding the urn, like about to pour it into the pot, and then her and Magus, eyeing each other. Do you respond again, Magus?
I do not. Like, I return, like, the look, but I don't stop her and I don't respond.
Cool. Yeah, her face is stern, but almost in a look of personal offense rather than like craftiness, and she pours a layer of ash over the top of the soil. She replaces the urn back on the tree and says, "I believe our business here is done. You will not see me outside these caves. If you request my presence, you may come and find me here."
Very well. Shade would, like, as she finishes with the ashes and stuff, Shade would look her in the eye and just say, "I hope that if this is successful in regrowing at least some part of your sister's tree, that you'll be able to remember this as one of the first steps towards true peace between the mortals and the Fae."
Can you roll a persuasion check?
I can try.
It's good words. They are good words.
But a crappy roll.
She puts an arm out, just a hand, just touches your forearm just for a moment, and just says, "Peace is complicated. I believe we all want solace. We all want to be left alone in the places we call home. I know you want that. I want that. I have my hesitations, but today has given me a measure of hope. But we will see." And she turns to just sit against the base of the tree.
Shade would just kind of do a shallow bow and turn and kind of leave her to her thoughts.
Your bows move air. There's a lot of displacement going on there. Cool. So unless you guys have anything else you want to talk to her about, I think she has kind of removed herself from the conversation.
One last thing to her.
Mm-hmm.
The creature in the pool above. Is it under your command, or will it attack us as we try to leave?
Oh, I had to think for a second, like what creature? She says, "They will not bother you.
Magus gives like a small nod of acknowledgement, but not matching Shade's bow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he's going to go talk to Lorius.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Lorius is off in this corner, just chatting again with the other satyr dryad. And he goes, "Oh, Magus, welcome back. How did everything go? I see Demetria, you didn't kill her."
Yes. Things went traumatic and complicated.
Oh dear. Do you want to talk about it?
Maybe after we've gotten to know each other a little better.
Oh, and how do you suggest that happen?
Not tonight. This has been something of a time, but I believe that we will be staying in Astoria at the Dragon's Tooth Inn for the next week or so, or if there's a way that I could find you, or we meet together some other way.
Tell you what, I have plans to visit Mitros in a few weeks. Perhaps I can leave word for you somewhere? Have coffee?
I think. Magus will close and like slip my arm around the small of his back.
It's very furry.
Coffee. And you said you're not a fighter, so I have high hopes for you as a lover. And kiss his cheek.
I'm 40% lover, baby. The flower in his hand blooms immediately with this display of agape.
I think there's a bit of arrows.
Yes.
more than agape.
Cool. He gives you his LinkedIn and.
Yeah. And I'll tell him also. One thing that did come from this. Demetria did give us a sapling to grow. So perhaps there is hope for that.
Oh, well, there are plenty of nice trees around here. Very nice gift of her.
A piece of the tree. Of the tree.
No, she didn't. Wow, that is an extreme move by her. That she must really be taking a risk with you.
She took something precious from us as well, so.
Ah, I see. Well, do your best to recover. You've done amazing work so far. I have good feelings about this place.
I hope they end up validated.
You'll have to see the cashier at the front for that. $2.
I give him like a playful smack on the cheek where I kissed it, and it's like, to coffee in a few weeks.
Cool. He takes 1 HP of damage and he is dead.
Just straight up like.
That's from Pythor.
No, he's fine. He's fine. All right. Can we be done flirting?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, like, absolutely let me know if you are ever
No.
uncomfortable with these interactions.
No, not at all. I knew exactly where this was gonna go. I am bad at flirting with my own partner, so yeah.
Great practice.
Yep. All right. So
I know I already rolled a nature check, but
Yeah.
I was looking for a sapling, and now I want to look for anything else that I might use for poison making,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that Timnun might need. Or
So I'll say,
you know?
if you're looking for everything on your list, you'd need about an hour here to do that.
Well, why not?
How
What
unruly
else
are the
do we have?
teens?
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of just still out of it. They're,
All right.
they're waving their hands up in the
Can
air.
help corral them.
We know that there's some good hallucinogenics here, so
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you guys have them in the least mushroom heavy part of the room, so.
Yeah. I mean, Shade would probably suggest that Theo and Falbin do a quick search for whatever they need, and the rest of us will start moving the teens out, because I imagine we're all going to move a lot slower than
Yeah.
an unencumbered party.
That's true. That's
so
true.
we'll slowly start filing this gaggle of teens.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah, let's see.
yeah, I'll look around everywhere where there isn't goatling guts.
So you guys harvested the berries from that one like good berry bush. If you spend an hour, let's see, Falbin, you find a root called aconite, which is used to make the poison assassin's blood. You find enough. You find enough for 12 doses. Sorry, no.
I was just gonna write it down. I wasn't gonna call you on it.
Hold on, the notes here.
Doses?
The notes here say it takes 2 hours to harvest enough of the plant to make a single dose. There are enough plants for 12 doses. So if you wanted to get all of them, you'd have to be here for 24 hours. But I'll say in an hour you can get enough to make a dose. But you can always come back here and get more if you want it.
Okay.
There is also there is a plant called Ethereum, and it is used to create essence of ether, and you can get 1 dose of that.
And currently trading at $130 US.
Oh, Ethereum, yeah. And then I'm trying to remember what else was on the list for Timon.
Probably some swamp grass. I'll be over here, right?
5e potion of water breathing ingredients.
So I already have a rare algae bloom and
Yep.
seed pods of a reed.
Yeah, actually, that's what you needed for that.
Okay.
If there was anything else in like Altar's guide that you wanted to get, that's up to you. I haven't actually looked at what's in there.
One of everything, please.
One of everything. I'll tell you that like most of the exotic stuff will be here. So we can even retcon some of that where it's like you look at what of those things you wanted to make and you can get some of that from here.
Okay.
This is a cool pantry.
I like pantries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are there harvesting for about an hour. What are you guys talking about, you and Theo, while you're rooting around?
Oh, shooting the breeze, asking him what it's like to die, and if the bow is really good, how sweet is that wood, Huge. Tell me all the stats on that bow, bro.
Oh, well, I'm just gonna read it.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
+1 bonus to attack damage rolls with this magic weapon. It's a magical bow made from a single solid piece of wood, small twigs and leaves sprouting from it, as well as an occasional blossom. Once per long rest, after attuning this item, you may cast Hex as a level 1 spell.
Whoa. That's a pretty sweet bow.
It's a hex bow.
It's a hex spell.
And Hex basically gives you like a D8 of necrotic damage extra, as well as you get to pick an ability that creature now has disadvantage on. And like, I believe like Hunter's Mark, if the target dies before the concentration ends on the spell, you can use a bonus action on another turn to transfer the curse to another creature.
Ooh.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So
pretty
Theo would
snazzy.
kind of start with that. You talk about the equipment first, then you get to the deep spiritual stuff of how's dying. Typical man talk.
Totally.
Yeah. Cold, lonely, dark, but then someone, and she said, not like this. It's all a bit of a jumbled mess.
Well, let's hope that you never have to see her again. All right? No more of this dying for the group thing.
Falbin nods.
All right. Let's get us some of those magic shrooms for tonight, shall we?
You can definitely do that if you want. So by the way,
Awakening.
as the cutting of the Ultria tree was planted in the pot of awakening, Theo and Shade, you both gain a spirit point for your ancestral weapon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Interesting.
How many points do I have?
You said you had been saving a couple.
Yes, I had a thing that I wanted.
I think this is only the second one we've gotten.
I think it's the third.
I can't
This is
remember if I
lower.
gave you 2 after the boar or 1.
I think you only gave us one.
Actually, take 2. Take 2 because I thought I gave you 2 last time. Take 2.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I thought there was 2 separate locations where you had given us one already. I don't want you to be giving us more than you're thinking that you.
If you find out for sure, let me know. If you've only gotten 1 so far, I'll do 2. If you've gotten 2 so far, let's do 1.
Basically, we should
Okay,
be
so
at 2
total of
right
3. So let's say 3.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Is that?
now. I mean,
Either way.
it's great for me. I mean, but I'm still saving mine for a little while.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have one in particular. That
So you guys have 3 now.
That's tasty.
Cool.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. So
While we're talking about that real quick, I didn't take notes about the bad status thing. What is it that I'm under?
So,
I can set that up while we're
you have a -3 to attack rolls and saving throws that is reduced by 1 every long rest you take.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh wait, no. I mean, I feel bad saying you're welcome, but
Yeah, again.
I mean, it sucks for a little while, but like you made a hell of a deal. You guys really impacted this area like in a big way, in a way that my group didn't. So that's love it.
And now we're going to burn it all down.
Straight to jail.
Bonfire, bonfire.
Go-to move.
You break oath, straight to jail.
Well, no, we didn't swear that we would be non-aggressive.
True, but you can't reunite her with her sister if she's dead. So
What are you talking about? They're both dead.
Reuniting her in death.
It
It's
would
fine.
be iffy to say that it is her if she is dead and her soul isn't there anymore. Her sister
alright.
is. You'll find out more later.
All right, yeah.
All right, okay, all right.
Lawyers, a bunch of you.
Hey, tiger lawyer. I got
Tiger
my suit
lawyer.
on, my briefcase, my cell phone.
I just had to give him a cell phone. I was like, if he's in a suit, he's got a cell phone.
And Vegas worships the goddess of trickery. I mean, come on.
I was really sad they didn't have like the big chunky 80s cell phones. They just had the flat ones. Oh man.
But
I'm telling you, the defense doesn't know what they're talking about. They can't pull that.
Objection. What's up, Felvin?
while we're immersion broken, I just want to say your monologue of the death was quite well done.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Moving.
Bravo.
Thank you. It was all AI generated, actually.
Excellent. Yes. You can do that with drawings,
Author
too.
intelligence brought to bear, I see.
Yep. Oh, yes. No, it's interesting because like I have to. You guys are very. This stuff is recorded, and you guys go back through and you listen to it, and so I have to be like really careful what I say exactly. Like so that things are understood. I don't like accidentally say something that misleads you, but also because there is breadcrumbs, and I can't just deliver everything all at once. So secrets. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Cool. So most of you get a good head start going up through the temple. You pass the rubble of the Gigan statues that you fought. The water in the pool behind the statue of Sidon is still, very still.
We still all have them skirt the edge of them the
Yeah.
whole way.
And like spacing out like sober people and impaired people. And
Buddy up.
There is the occasional like slip where somebody will like slip and step into the water, and whereas that had caused action to happen before, nothing happens as people slip into the water. So yeah, you guys make it past the mirror and out.
As we're passing the mirror, Megas just like kind of looks at it for a moment, and it kind of like looks at the mirror, looks down into the tube, and continues on.
Yeah. You look at yourself. Yeah, that's great. You make it back into the forest. You pass.
I figure just outside the temple is where we'd kind of congregate and wait
Sure, okay.
for Falbin and Theo. We don't want to get too far.
Yeah.
Fair. Let me. Oh, I can't do
especially since Demetra did specifically say there's a lot of denizens of the fortress that are not under her command.
Of the forest. Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So it's like we don't want to go traipsing around with a bunch of targets and not a full party.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have all the teens on this level, and I'm not going to move them. So
Thank you.
we'll just.
You can't make me.
They are with you. Falbin the squirrel has stayed behind with you, and he's like struggling to keep your sleeve held on to your arm as you walk. Yeah.
Kind of what we're.
Magus.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Good.
I was gonna say Magus is way up front, right?
Yeah, I'm with the advanced crew.
All right.
I'd say I'd like probably be taking up the rear of the kids.
I'm gonna seek out Magus. I want to look at the squirrel.
I'll put the squirrel up by Megas.
Man, that's so fancy that the squirrel can break through walls.
There's like little holes and stuff he can climb around.
Hulk squirrel.
I'm the Juggernaut.
Wow.
Let's go back to talking about Korean camping. Okay, so the squirrel.
Yeah, so I would walk up to Megas and Megas, I feel this squirrel has a story. Can you see if there is more to the squirrel than meets the eye?
I'm going to kind of sit down on the no, okay. Kneel down on the ground and kind of scratch out in the dirt the common word for yes, and then point to a spot next to it and say, okay, squirrel, if my friend is right and there's more to you, write the opposite of that word in this space.
He scratches his head with his claws for a few seconds. His tail twitches. He takes the nut that he's been holding and he just shoves it into his cheek, and then rubs his hands together and leans down next to where you wrote the word yes in the ground. And then with two paws, he's burying something, he starts to scratch in the dirt. And as the dust settles, he steps away and stands proudly next to a mirror of the word yes.
Okay, so we've achieved one level, but we failed at the other.
Task failed successfully. He goes, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Before we actually left the temple, probably while we were waiting for Falbin and Theo to make it up, Shade would have taken at least one circuit around the temple to see if there's any other ancient pieces of anything similar to the Dragonlord shield.
Oh, sure. Roll an investigation check. Or perception, because you're just looking for anything. Yeah.
Well, is that a good enough investigation, or can I roll?
It should be fine. Perception. I mean, is your perception higher than that?
I don't know.
I mean, the base damage. The base die was an 18.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's a 22 total. Good question. Yeah, you find it's kind of like looking for arrowheads, it takes a while, and what you would consider a good day in an arrowhead hunt is an arrowhead. So
right.
You find actually just a simple belt buckle. And it is like something you feel like you remember wearing. Not like yours, but like a style that you remember that you haven't seen in your days around here lately. This is a Dragonlord belt buckle.
I was even just write old belt buckle, but I will write Dragonlord belt buckle then.
Sure, yeah, it's got an image of a Dragonlord peeing off a cliff.
Oh no.
Oh, cod piece. What a cod piece.
It says BADL on it.
The Dragonlords were a mistake.
They were Yeah. They were kind of complicated. But yeah, you find a little treasure. Sure.
Cool. I'll stuff that in his pack and kind of keep up with everybody else.
Cool.
So DM,
Yes.
would I know? So like as a player, I know that Druid Beast Shape does not impact mental characteristics. Would I know if Polymorph impacts mental characteristics?
I'd say that's basic enough of a magical attribute that you would know that polymorph does impact mental capability. So if you are polymorphed into an unintelligent creature, you are less intelligent than you were before you were polymorphed.
Right. And a polymorphed creature that takes damage will take damage down to the creature's HP and then revert back to its original form.
Yeah, I think so.
Fire.
So I'll look up at Falvin and say, okay, so we can rule out that it is a beast-shaped druid, unless it is a very stupid druid. It looks like it's more intelligent than a random squirrel, but dumber than a person. So,
At this, Nick would be like, well, how do you know it's not a... Maybe it's a beast-shaped druid that doesn't want to be known as a druid. Did you ask him that?
Yeah, maybe he's messing with you.
Nick the insightful.
I will look back at the squirrel and to say, like, if he is messing with me, then he knows where this train of conversation is going, and he's gonna get what's coming to him.
This ought to be exciting.
He kind of hides behind Falbin's leg, and he's like pointing at Megas like,
So, I guess the three options that exist are that it's either a somehow very intelligent squirrel, perhaps... Well, actually, let me try something. One last thing, and I'm going to use my Boon of Mitros to cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay.
So it should allow me to comprehend anything that the squirrel says if it is speaking in a language.
All right. Cool.
And so I'm going to ask it again. So,
sorry,
I
nothing.
feel like we had these conversations in the last campaign that we played together.
well, no, that's different because speak with animals grants the animals the ability of speech.
No, my Scion character had was telepathic, so he could communicate with anything that had a language. And every creature we ran across, it was like, does it have a language?
Right. Well,
if you want to do a nature check before you do that,
okay.
just so you don't waste a thing.
I mean, I have 4 uses of these things per day. So.
You would know that like people often use like speak with animals, which doesn't necessarily mean that you understand the language they are speaking. It just means they can understand the intent of what you're saying and you can understand their intent.
Correct.
So, yeah. So if this was an intelligent squirrel, you would not gain anything by having a language translator, essentially.
Correct. That's the intent.
Oh, I see.
Because if it's a regular squirrel, I won't be able to understand anything. But if it's an awakened squirrel, an awakened creature does get a language.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
So I just thought, it's like, oh wait, this is another option.
So you're using it to rule something out. I see.
Yeah. So I'm trying to rule out if this is actually a super intelligent awakened squirrel.
Okay.
which would have the ability to write out to copy language.
That's kind of where I am. I just want to be told if it's yes or no.
Okay. Well, go ahead then.
So I cast comprehend languages, and I say like, all right, little guy, can you understand me now?
He thumps his hand against his head and he goes,
Okay, so we've ruled out an awakened creature.
I like to think by this point all the teens are watching this too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everybody's just like,
Out of high teens.
it's like an amphitheater of teens just all sitting around just like, whoa.
And Theo will leave. Did you mean to have a show?
dude, this is even better with the shrooms, man.
Yeah, I think I might have some of those while I'm watching. Got some of those left over?
Oh, absolutely.
So, all right. So it's not awakened. So it's not. So it hasn't gained intelligence by that method. So I find it very unlikely that it is somehow a squirrel with the intelligence to copy letters. That leaves the options of either a druid that has beast-shaped themselves into this form, or someone who has been polymorphed into this form. A druid would maintain their intelligence. A polymorph person would not. The way to get someone out of either form is to effectively kill them in the beast form. So that's kind of where we are.
So you're saying if we're wrong, we'll kill a friendly woodland creature.
Who has the ability to mimic languages but not understand them.
I'm thinking this is probably more of a druid situation since it actually was able to copy what you wrote, and basic polymorph would mean that they wouldn't have intelligence on that level to even be capable of copying and understanding that's what you wanted them to do.
Well, he's your squirrel. I will leave it up to you.
Yeah, kill it if you want.
At this, Shade would kind of step in and be like, wait, one thing we probably want to clarify, and it might have been good to ask this to Demetria. The squirrel doesn't work for Demetria, does it? This won't break our oath, will it?
I don't know.
Just thinking, before we go just killing anything willy-nilly in the forest, we should make sure it's violent to us first.
12 minutes after the
Stays
pact.
in the forest.
Just saying.
You can see the squirrel is like, he's looking tense. And he's like looking between all of you that are talking about, killing him or whatever. And he's like, and he pops behind a small rock, like for cover. And then he spits out the acorn that he was having in his mouth, and he cocks his arm back and he goes to throw it at Megas, but he slips and the acorn bounces off the rock and clocks him in the forehead, and he falls over backwards and transforms into a gnome.
Thank you, DM.
Well, I guess that answers that.
And let me see if I can give you the image. Why?
Did the squirrel
We're
only
not
have
gonna
one hit
spend
point?
30 more minutes here.
No, it's okay. Why can't I display the image?
I mean, like, you asked Vegas to figure to
You were
see what
doing
shows.
it.
It's like, I've exhausted the non-destructive testing techniques. I know.
And we're down to DT.
So, okay, I'll just describe him. I'll have an image for you later, but he is a very old gnome, like very old. He has got like scraggly white hair, big old ears that are like indicative of extreme age. His blue cloak is tattered and mixed with all manner of plant and animal debris, and he is lying on the ground unconscious.
And then by his own nut.
Yep.
Like, death saves unconscious?
No, he's like...
Okay. See? Person in a beast form.
All right, good call. Not gonna lie, good call.
Seeing as this squirrel attempted to help us, I mean, this gnome Shade, maybe we should take him with us.
Yeah, probably. I guess Jade would just kind of like pick him up and throw him over his shoulder.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I'm showing the people online what he looks like. I'm gonna post this in Discord. Come on, post. There we go. It's in handouts and art.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Yeah. But you easily throw him over your shoulder. He is very small. And, yeah, you got yourself a gnome.
Cool.
Cool. Oh, and before we go any further, like we had talked about offline, Shade would ask Falvin to help him rig up the hanging planter rope thingy.
Groot sack. Just call it what it is. It's a Groot sack.
The Groot sack. Yes, the Groot sack. So he doesn't have to carry the pot quite so gingerly the rest of the way.
Cool. Yeah, you make up like a backpack sort of thing out of rope, and you have it on your back. It provides a indistinguishable but not totally absent level of fresh oxygen to you as you walk.
Cool.
Yeah. Asthma be gone. All right. Anything else in the forest?
Purification tree. I think we're done with this.
We'd all just be heading out.
Yeah, like I'll have stuff for the road for the journey back, but not in the forest itself.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so making your way out, it's starting to get like late afternoon. You guys made pretty quick work, but you took some time afterward. And we'll say you'll get to Astoria, like it'll be dark, but you'll get there, sometime in the night.
Yeah, I don't feel like camping out in the forest with a bunch of
but
stoners.
It's safe. No, yeah.
No.
Also, I should really be keeping better track of exactly how many days you guys are passing. Because
I think this is all the same day, right?
I think it is. Well, so it is the next day from when you talked to. Hold up.
We realized that there was a time dilation in the forest.
So did you talk to Python? It took you guys about. I feel like you guys left early in the morning to come here. You talked to people in Astoria. You talked to Silas and Nick. You talked to Timon. You talked to Honora. I guess this has all been the same day. Mm-hmm. So you guys have like 6 more days after this until Honora's sacrifice?
Yeah.
because it was like it was a week.
Yep.
Getting stuff done.
Yeah, you guys are. Cool. I'll basically.
This has been a long day.
This has been a long day. So it'll take you until midnight to get back to Astoria, unless there's anything you want to talk about on the road. We'll let any of that happen before we just get there.
Yeah. Talking on the road then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Talking on the road, I will go over to Kyra.
Yeah. She is she's kind of bouncing between teens, just telling them funny stories and leading them in like sing songs to just kind of keep them on track. And they finish up a song and they're laughing, and she says, "Oh yes, hey Magus, what's up?"
So that was an interesting time.
Yes. In both tragic and oddly uplifting.
I'd consider it more uplifting if it weren't for so much purple.
Purple. Oh, the candles. Yes. I think that's classic Lutheria, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely gave me the heebie-jeebies.
I thought that she would be absolutely, like, unquestionably on board with eliminating us.
Right, yeah. Why would she not take an opportunity to kill one of you?
I mean, she certainly tried.
Right, that's the weird thing. It's like, these goatlings, shouldn't we be talking to Falbin about this?
Well, about that specifically, perhaps, but when the deal was struck, it's just... I'm finding it hard to have certainty. I mean, with what Demetria said about the, am I sure I'm on the right side? Like, yes, Estor committed atrocities in war, but Lutheria commits them in peace. I have no doubt I'm on the right side.
Yes.
But I mean, I almost used up one of those scrolls myself.
Are you referring to the resurrection scrolls or what?
Yeah.
Doing what?
When I was punched by Pythor.
Oh, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it may have been foolish of me, but I was so angry at your brother in that moment. My little brother idolizes him. And then to see him in such a state, first of all, drunk beyond thinking clearly, and then offering to side on. And I mean no disrespect to your father, but also, like, My grandfather and father have prayed to him for centuries. And they always instilled in me to never make excuses, to settle when I still had fire burning in me for something more. I'm honestly a little bit nervous to, I'm not sure if I want to meet, if the opportunity came to meet Valis. Because Vulcan and Pythor, those are who my family has prayed to, but I've prayed to you and your sister. What if she isn't who I think she is?
She puts her hand on your shoulder and she says, I know you have. If it helps at all, we do hear them, and we rely on them for our strength and our purpose. And to be honest, about my brother, if he had actually done you in, obviously we could bring you back, but I would have never let him live it down. Please know that. I would have I would have held that over his head for forever. But I think people love the idea of my brother more than they love the man himself. It's true, his exploits are legendary, and as a poet, I can't help but love the stories, but centuries of wearing the crown have dulled his spirits. He carries much anger that he is not allowed to act upon due to the oath. And my father never recovered after mother left us, and rather than anger, he wallows in sadness. My sister we have our differences, and I see your point, and I understand what you're going through and what you're thinking. She is doing her best. She is doing what she can to make a difference and to keep this world, which is so close to just coming undone, to keep it together. And we all are doing what we can, but it's just been a long road, and people's faith in us wanes as the Titans grow stronger, and as their faith wanes, so does our power, and it's hard. It's hard to keep going. That's why I'm here, you know. It's why I found you. It's not, you know, it's why I gathered you together. It's why I put so much stock in you. I fear that even combined, when the time comes, we may not be enough. And though we are gods, heroes are no less.
You weren't just referring to mortals. When I sacrificed the boar, you said that we needed to be heroes to give the mortals hope. It's not just the mortals who need hope, is it?
She is like kind of looking up at the sky. You can see kind of her throat tensing. We all need hope, Magus. And she turns from you and goes back to the teens.
All right.
And says, "Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?" And then they all go, "SpongeBob SquarePants."
And Vegas goes to the other side.
I mean, also while we're traveling, probably not too far after we leave the glade or the forest area around the temple, Shade would try and kind of keep pace with Falbin for a short bit.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of, are you doing all right?
I'm alive.
Well, thankfully, I, as you know, had a brief encounter similar to yours. I know it can be disconcerting, at least. If you want to talk about it at all, just let me know. But I also want to say that no matter what Demetria or any of the others say, we will do, or at least I will do, but I believe I speak for the rest of our party as well. We will do everything within our power to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Whatever doom or fate Lutheria thinks she has in store for you, we will fight it with you. You don't have to face it alone.
You can tell Falbin is moved by your words, and he nods. And there will be time, but too close to speak of now.
Yes, I understand. And just kind of like give his shoulder a quick squeeze and kind of walk on ahead.
Falbin dies immediately.
Oh no, I forgot to pull in my claws.
As you go to like give his shoulder a squeeze, oh no, he's not a squirrel anymore. Never mind.
He's on my shoulder.
He's on your shoulder, yeah. Oh.
Lutheria's like, son of a.
Solid RP, guys. All right. Well, the forest, gets darker and darker as the sun begins to set, and the kind of feeling like you were being watched when you entered the forest is not really there. This is like Corinna is kind of up there with you, scouting at the head of the group, and she's like, "This is." This is really nice in here, actually. I would come here again. Yeah, this is great. Thank you, guys.
Well, Shade would look at her and say, "Don't." From our conversation with Demetria, if we re-entered again, we are trespassers. Unless we're seeking her aid. Stay out of the forest.
Well, I guess I can hope for a time soon then, when I can come and climb these trees and hunt and
That's what we hope for, but right now we're barely at a ceasefire.
She's kind of in between all of you, and she's looking from person to person, and she says, what are you guys after, like on the big scale? Like you almost seem like overkill for this type of job, like rescuing some teenagers. Like why are you here? There's something like, I don't know, something in my blood like feels like you guys feel familiar.
Magus smiles.
Like you're like the stories that my dad tells me sometimes.
Well, your dad, he was wrong about one thing.
More than one, but go ahead.
Well, is that he is not the last living descendant of Ryzen Phobos.
DM doesn't know what you mean by this.
Well, he said, like, Theracles said that he was the last living descendant of Ryzen Phobos the Dragonlord.
Yeah.
His daughter's alive.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. She chuckles at that and says, "That's kind of an oft-forgotten detail, isn't it?" Yeah, I think he thinks that the line is just over with him. I don't think he fully gets me or sees what I'm capable of. I think he thinks I'm his business partner now. Like you guys are really into those Dragonlords, huh?
Definitely interested. Not as enthused as I once was. At least about the past.
I mean, why do you care though, besides like historic interest?
I mean, wouldn't you like to ride a dragon?
Well, sure, but I mean,
They're the ones who stood up and fought for those who couldn't fight for themselves. That's what, my understanding at least, that's what they did. It's how they brought the mortals back from the edge of extinction or true enslavement by the Titans. Wouldn't you want to emulate something like that? If you had the abilities, fight for those who can't fight for themselves. Try to bring peace.
yeah, I would.
Take your father. Take your father. He owns a vineyard. He makes some of the best vintage of wine, at least in Astoria, if not the rest of the surrounding country. What would he be if he was instead enslaved to the Titans, forced to offer everything but the barest of scraps to them? That's not living.
Yeah, I think he'd agree with you. I think he'd go out swinging with his finest vintage in hand. But no, he has a legacy, whether he believes it or not. And I mean, do you think that kind of thing is possible again? I mean, I feel like things are getting so bad. Is something like the Dragonlords, can we get back to that? Is there enough time? Is there enough?
We don't know. But we'll never know unless we try. That's all we can do at this point. We're just a band of adventurers trying. Who knows if we'll fail? Maybe we'll succeed. But at least we'll try.
Man, that's good to hear. Well, this may be a lot to ask, and don't tell my dad. But if you guys like get this going again, I mean, I'd love to learn from you. You know, like, let me help in some way.
Shade will just kind of give her a wry smile and wink and say, "We'll put your name at the top of the recruits list."
Yes. She like jumps up with her bow in two hands. Yeah.
It's like, and also, let me reiterate, riding a freaking dragon.
Right. Yeah. I mean, good luck finding a dragon. You know, I think that's the big problem. Is, you know, they're kind of all gone.
It's a feeling of weightlessness. It's just amazing.
Wait, what? How do you know?
What? I don't know. That just popped to mind. Maybe it was a dream.
I love how you included that. That was nice. She kind of brushes it off, like what are you talking about? And then moves on up the trail to kind of scout ahead.
One logistics thing, as it gets dark, Shade would get out another length of rope and make sure all the teens are holding onto the rope in the dark to keep them all together.
Cool.
Nobody's getting lost.
Torches.
Yeah, and Kyra is just like a sheepdog, just like running around them. It's like, hey, get back in line. We're not losing you off a cliff here before we get home to your parents. Cool. Anything else while we're in the forest, coming up to the city? If not, then eventually the forest thins and you find yourself back on the road just shortly outside the city gates. You can start to hear the river again running over the rocks, passing by the Rock of Estor. And you make it to the gates, and one of the guards...
Hey, Theo. I don't know why, but I think it'd be really appropriate if you were out in front of this gang of children and youths playing your lute as we led them into town.
Like a band of young men.
What was that?
Sound like you're underwater.
Still underwater.
Vocalization.
That was better.
So far we just heard the word vocalization.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
There it is.
Am I here now?
Yeah.
Yep.
I said like a band of merry men. Of course I'll play my lute.
I think Magus is referring to something else, but yes. You don't have any pan pipes, do you? No.
Nope.
I just have the lute.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You're starting to play the lute, and you see a torch lift from one of the battlements of the eastern gate. And he yells down. He yells to open the gate. Says the young ones are back, and starts ringing a bell, and you see more lights starting to come on in the residential area inside the gates. And the guards run up to you, and they're just like, gathering kids and shaking your hands. Like one of them is like a brother of one of the kids, and he's like hugging him. And the kids have basically like, they're mostly there. They're still a little groggy, but they're not like full on hallucinating anymore. And they start to get, parents are rushing in from the city and, crying and grabbing their kids. And You see a couple sets of parents that are like looking. They're looking at the group, and they look nervous. They're not seeing who they're looking for. And as the last of the teens kind of filter in through the gate with their families, you're left with like 4 couples who are just kind of standing there, like wringing their hands, like expectantly.
And we didn't get any like identifiable possessions from any of the corpses, did we?
No, they were just meat by that point.
Yeah.
I got their molars. No.
Our family molars, yay!
No.
Passed down from generations.
Oh man.
The Armstrong family molars.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what are these Igors from Terry Pratchett? I have my father's hands. No, literally, they were his hands.
But I mean,
No.
Kyra. Yeah, go ahead.
Unless Kyra was gonna go.
No,
Shade would,
Kyra stands there stone-faced.
yeah, Shade would, seeing these couples obviously looking expectantly, he would kind of go over. If they're clustered together, that would probably be easier.
Yeah.
But he would go over and say, "Are you the families of some of the other missing people?"
Yes. Are there more coming?
No, I'm sorry to say this is all that was alive. There were some that didn't make it. I'm so sorry. We were too late.
Of course, some of them burst into tears. Some of them are just kind of looking 1,000-yard stare off into the distance, comforting each other best they can. None of them seem to exhibit like rage or anger at you. So
She just kind of, somewhat awkwardly nod and say, I'm sorry, and walk away and leave them to their grief.
A portly man in a tuxedo and a top hat pushes through the grieving parents with a giant key to the city. I'm just kidding. I don't deflect my emotions with humor. So all in all, I mean, pretty good ratio. Got most of them.
I mean, there's only so much we can do.
That's true.
We're not demigods yet.
Yeah. But some of the parents, like they offer to take you to the Dragon's Tooth for a drink. They offered to give you guys drinks. We have 2 songs playing. That's not right.
Do they offer pancake balls or just drinks?
Yes, always pancake balls. Always.
Okay.
Drinks and pancake balls.
Well, first, we do have a delivery, or at least I have a delivery to make.
A delivery?
Of restoring a certain item to its rightful place.
Oh, yes. Right, the horn.
Yeah, that old thing.
Feel free.
While we're still at the south gate, Shade at least would talk to Nick and basically tell him, thank you so much for your help. It made it so much easier. I mean, if you want, you can come along with us for a while longer, or you can take your leave here, since your house is right here.
I'm let you narrate him, but I think he would probably take his leave. But
yeah.
If you guys are ever in a pinch and need an extra dude, he'll be here.
Yep. So he would basically say that, yeah, happy to help. Thankfully, it didn't go worse than it did. I mean, we all made it out in one piece, right? So, yeah, since he was not there for the fall.
Falbin was distinctly 6 pieces.
It's like, well, if you got, it's like, if you got any other jobs that pay good, count me in. Otherwise, you like kind of look over at Kyra, make sure I was there. I helped. I made it in the story, right?
Nick, you have an entire verse dedicated to you.
Awesome.
Do not worry.
Check.
It's she whispers over to you. It's short, but it's a verse. Shut up.
Nick would,
And then there was this guy.
And then along came Nick, and that's the end.
this is your legend verse. It isn't very long.
Pretty much.
Are we instantly converting all of the jewels into gold to divide them up?
That
or
is
how
totally
we plan
cool
it?
with me. Yep.
Okay. If it's a 5-way split, everybody gets 140 gold.
Cool.
Yeah, and then so 140 that goes to Nick into the ether.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep. So he is just like, heck yeah, that's a good payday.
Oh yeah, he is. He is getting 2 Papa John's extra large pizzas tonight.
But yeah, he would basically yawn, stretch, and say, yeah, I'm gonna call this one a night. See ya. And head to his house.
And then like he enters the door and like it's like an Iron Man suit assembly, except it's a bathrobe.
Yeah,
He steps
has an
into the
animated
slippers.
bathrobe that just like.
And so left Nick. Cool, yeah. Y'all got money.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was just going to take the horn back to the temple to like not necessarily to do anything with it tonight, but just to say, hey, we got it, and do you want to keep it here, or should we look after it until it's time for us to do our thing?
I mean, Kyra would encourage you to do the vision as soon as possible, just so that while you have it, that nothing bad can happen. You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to tempt fate.
yeah, that would be Kyra's advice. Would be like, we have it.
Okay.
We should probably do it as soon as possible.
I'm good for it. I don't need to sleep yet.
Yeah, I mean,
What's a few more visions after having some shrooms?
look how light the map is. It's still basically daytime.
No, I look like how dilated are Theo's pupils?
Theo, did you actually take some?
No.
Oh, okay. It's not like super terrible for you. It's not great, but
It's not great. No,
If you roll a fortitude save, you'll be fine.
there you go.
Theo wanted to stay on his toes after having one of his comrades sacrifice himself and be brutally torn apart in front of his face.
Totally.
What?
I will say
Yeah,
I tried to make a hero forge of that moment, but it's kind of a lot.
Too graphic.
Well, no, it's just hard to. I couldn't figure out a way to make it seem like your limbs were detached.
Oh, that is always hard, isn't it?
It was-
Adam, can you do a animated drawing of that?
It's yeah. Cool. So you guys trade your gold and you're going up to the Dragon Shrine. Okay. You guys go there. Aesop has like just turned off the neon open sign and is like, you know, he's getting his keys together to lock the door up, or whatever fantasy equivalent of that. And he hears you coming, and he says, "Oh my gosh, guys, you're back. How did it go? Did you get the horn?"
And I will say, heroes get results, and I produce the horn.
It's so good to see this. Wow, amazing work. Thank you so much. Incredible. Are you wishing to do the ritual now?
Seems like the sooner the better would be wise. Or So our poet encourages us.
I see. Okay. Well, come inside. I will warn you, it's gonna take a little while. The ritual is accompanied by a bit of a deep sleep, even for us elves. And you'll experience vivid dreams during that sleep. So you might just rest here tonight. And, nobody else is here. It'll just be me. The doors will be locked. You'll be totally safe and secure here.
I'm going to find like a young urchin in the street and like send her under to the Dragon's Tooth. Party tomorrow.
Cool. And Kyra grabs the same urchin and she says, by the way, new name for the heroes? Shepherds of the Lost, I'm thinking. What do you think? Sounds good? And he goes, okay. And he runs off to the temple.
How do you do? My name's Gavroche.
Party tomorrow for Shepherds of the Lost. So Aesop ushers you inside. It's dark inside, but offset by the moody candles that are lit. Should change the music a little bit. We'll do our shaman's trance music. That's always pretty fitting. Okay, he leads you to a kind of a sunken like 70s conversation pit, cushy round couch and with a table in the middle, and there is a large decanter of this I forgot what I called it, the vintage of wine, dragon something.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good
juice.
That was the red dragon.
Red dragon, yeah. Anyway, he asks you for the horn. Actually, no. He lets you hold it while he pours the wine into it. And he encourages you all to sit, make yourself comfortable. If you need any blankets, to let him know. Pillows, a lozenge.
Some herbal tea, please.
And those sleep masks. That would be.
Yeah. He opens a little mini freezer, and they are ice cold. He gets some cucumbers out.
Nice.
There was this guy, Nick. He had an animated bathrobe.
How do we get one of those?
Oh, Nick, the most comfortable guy in Astoria, I swear.
Oh yeah, I hear that was his 30-year employment gift for the Iron Sentinels. Everybody pitched in and got him that.
Oh, I love that. Just corporate gifts from the Iron Sentinels. Oh, it's got a
big Iron Sentinels logo on the back.
Yep,
it's great.
Same with the mug. Oh, I love it. Okay, yeah. So he the horn, by the way, is like, it's bigger than any drinking horn you've ever used. I mean, this is an actual dragon's horn. So it takes two hands to hold it. Mm-hmm. And the order doesn't really matter, but like who would go first?
I would offer the choice first to Falbin because you paid for it.
Falbin would accept.
Cool. You put your mouth up to the brim of the base of the horn, and you begin to lift, pouring this extremely good vintage that's been aerating for like several hours. So like the tannins are in full bloom. But you take a deep drink and then pass it on, and so on and so on. Who's last?
I think unless anybody else showed severe reluctance, Magus would be last because he does not like being put to sleep against his will.
Sure. Yeah, and as the horn gets passed around you, you can see Falbin is drifting off to sleep, and you can see the others are starting to look the same. Do you say anything to Aesop beforehand, before you drink?
No.
Okay. He stands vigilantly, and you can see you take your deep drink, and he leans forward to take the horn from you and places it carefully in a cradled stand, and then he sits as your vision starts to go dark.
Before Shade really starts feeling it, he would make sure he intentionally, very carefully, sets the pot with the sapling in it in a position that it won't get accidentally knocked over or stepped on or in the way when we wake up.
Cool.
Just set that carefully.
Aesop, he offers an empty reliquary, like basically a place you would put a museum artifact, and it would have its own spot there.
Shade would say, "How fitting," and put it there.
Indeed. As you guys all drift to sleep, you experience a vision. In this vision, you see before you a vast underground cavern, lush with familiar greenery. You would know this as the ancient glade that you just came from. A stream trickles past a vast and mighty oak tree, full grown, which reaches toward the ceiling some 100 feet above. Surrounding the base of the tree is a team of men armed with axes and saws, working their way through the base of the tree's mighty expanse. Already, half of it has been hacked away. Not far from the base of the tree, tied up with rope, mouths bound by dirty rags, are a pair of nymphs, specifically dryads. One of them is the familiar face of Demetria, her face red with grief, tears streaming down her dirty face. And next to her sits what can only be her sister, Ultraya. She, too, is tied up, bound, and gagged, but her body is oddly translucent. Like half of it seems to have faded into nothingness. She seems consigned to her fate. The vision rapidly shifts into a swift series of still images. The now cut down tree being dragged away along the loamy floor of the forest, and then the tree cut up into planks in a dockyard. And then the final image of the stills is that of a magnificent trireme ship. Suddenly, you find yourself standing on the deck of this beautiful galley. A smooth cerulean sea stretches out before you. You look down at a strange bronze device in your hands, and it seems to reflect the constellations of the night sky in it. Falbin, as you look into this bronze device in your hands, you see a particular constellation. The constellation of the Bard. Theo and Magus, you're not there together, but in your own visions, you each see instead the constellation of the Chariot in this bronze device. And then Shade, you see the constellation of the Geigen. As you look up from the bronze device, you see the backs of dozens of oarsmen. They sit on benches on the deck. They row in perfect sync to a warlike drumbeat, pulling the ship through the water faster than you thought was possible. You step closer to look down at the men on the benches. They all turn and meet your gaze, with dead eyes, rotten faces, and decayed bodies. A crew of corpses. And you are all startled awake. Daylight streaming in through the windows.
Shade at least would glance around, seeing everybody else awake. I don't know what the rest of you saw, but I believe I saw old Triad getting cut down and turned in to the Ultros.
Same. Not what I was hoping to see.
No. No, not quite. Falbin, Theo, do you see the same?
Sure did.
I saw stars.
Yes, me too. The Gigan, I believe.
Oh. I saw the bard.
What kind of a check would be like an understanding of the importance or significance of the different constellations?
An astrology check.
Probably Arcana, just...
Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, stars, representing... stars represent destinations often. And, you may need to find out who can interpret the constellations. But they are most often a guiding symbol. But often also a symbol of, wisdom, depending on what you're looking for.
That seems to be the only part of the vision that offers us something we didn't already know. Unless, did you see at the end that the ship was helmed by corpses?
I don't know about helmed, but rowed, yes, the oarsman.
Unless that was a reference to the necropolis. The constellations, I think, are the only lead that we can gather from this vision.
Well, didn't the legends, or at least what I've heard, is didn't the few Dragonlords that remained, that left with the Ultros, all die? So there's only the wizard or sorcerer came back, right? And he wasn't even a Dragonlord, truly.
Yeah, Aesop.
Right.
Aesop answers in the affirmative. The Ultros, the ship that you saw, was commissioned and commanded by Estor, Archelander himself. But the last anyone saw of it was Yeah, actually, he says that he guesses the only person who might know where the ship is now is King Acastus of Mitros, because he's a descendant of Estor, Archelander.
And who do you know can read the stars?
That's a question I am not 100% sure on. I believe the answer is Valis, but I'll have to double check. I'll get a for sure answer to you later.
Okay.
So? What should we do with this knowledge?
Well, it seems like the knowledge would best point us to Mitros. Both as someone who can speak to us about the Ultros and who can read the stars. But that would take us... Well, first of all, it would take us away from our business here with Pythor and his daughter. And it would also take us further from the Forge and from the Necropolis. I mean, I am certainly happy to return home.
Well,
I mean, Kyra will chime in and she'll say, I mean, we've accomplished one of the 3 great labors, drinking from the horn. I think we should finish that before we get too spread out. Besides, having the forge operational will be greatly helpful. I mean, my father will be able to help in so many ways behind the scenes. And the necropolis is going to be full of useful information for you moving forward. Besides, the Ultros has been lost for centuries. You know, it'll be fine for a little while longer.
Okay, so wait, like it sounded like the very first, maybe I was hearing it wrong. She was saying that we should continue with the vision before going to the other labors, but then it sounded later like we should finish the labors first.
Right, so the vision gives you a clue about stuff in the future.
Right.
But you still have 2 other great labors.
Oh, okay. So Kyra is saying to finish the labors first.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
they, yeah. Mm-hmm.
so Aesop, what happens if somebody drinks from the horn a second time?
Well, you can't really plan a vision. I've tested it probably more times than I'm supposed to, but more often than not, I just get drunk. I think it depends on what you need to know, truths that you need to be shown.
Well, unfortunately, those truths don't help us with the immediate need. All right, Magus. I think we gotta go talk to your uncle again.
I love that guy.
It's like Magus is currently weighing like his philosophical aversion to just laying on a couch all day and being drunk versus having to go and talk to Timon again. Theo, as long as you do all the talking.
Timon.
Aesop has one more bit of wisdom for you. He says, you didn't say it specifically, but I believe you mentioned it, whether you think you did or not. The bronze item that you were holding in the dream, it sounds like the legendary Antikythera. It's a magical compass that supposedly has the power to navigate to all the islands in the Cerulean Gulf, the Forgotten Sea, and even the legendary Nether Sea.
EPS.
But I mean, without the Ultros, it's essentially useless.
What makes it in the Ultros special, I guess?
Well, I mean, what you told me of the Ultria, the tree that was cut down, it's a magical tree, and the ship is imbued with powerful magic, and it's unique in that way. And
so effectively, we need a magical ship to be able to sail to the places that the compass can show us.
It would make sense.
That's magic.
Of course it's magic. Magic is awesome.
Says the mage.
I would consult with Lady Valis though. Once you reach Mitros, she is the queen to King Acastus, and between the two of them, I'm certain you'll have everything you need to move forward.
Unfortunately, there may be other complications.
What? Of course, yes. Such are the times we live in. Magus, I did have a few. I dug out a few scrolls that were in good condition. If you'd like to look at one of them.
Yes. like a starved chihuahua on a pork chop.
What was your list? Let's see, 1 second. I'm streaming this. Oh, well, it doesn't matter.
I just got this extra scroll of disintegrate that I'm not using. Here, you can have that one.
You said the orange ones were the evocation ones?
Correct.
Okay. He's gonna give you an Earthbind scroll.
That's one I already have.
He takes it back and destroys it. Wait, so does this list show which ones you have already?
Yeah, so it's arranged into tiers.
Oh,
the first tier is
possessed.
the ones I have. The second ones I have are the ones I is pending and then desired.
Gotcha. Okay. He's gonna give you the option between detect magic and sleep.
Ooh.
Yeah. Think about that one.
Detect sleep.
Yeah. Detect magical sleep.
Now, DM.
Yeah.
Like an out of roll thing.
Yeah.
The ones, the reason I highlighted the evocation ones are like those are the ones that he would want to copy down from scrolls.
I see. Okay, because they take.
Like those are the ones he wants from scrolls because it costs him less to learn them.
Well, how about this?
So
how about this?
Yeah.
Let's do let's just do 2 cantrips. How about that? Shocking Grasp and Lightning Lure.
I cannot learn cantrips from scrolls.
Wow.
Foiled at every turn.
Foiled.
Kids are so
if you
spoiled
did-
nowadays.
If you want me to choose between the tech magic and sleep, I can do that.
No, that's okay. How about Frost Fingers? I don't know what that does, but it seems
Sure,
interesting.
I'll take it.
Do you have any level 2s?
Magical
Actually, do you have any
popsicles.
level 2s already? You have Earthbind and
I
Dragon's
mean, like, level 2 has like a whole list down at the bottom of desires. Of ones I
You were
want.
telling me about that Rhymes Binding Ice, and
I was.
it looks kind of awesome. Let's do that so we can see it in action. How about that?
All right.
Cool.
Try to give someone a gift and they ask for the receipt. Unbelievable.
Oh wow. Cool. Yeah. So it's morning, and the palace is pretty quiet. This isn't where most people are walking around. What do you guys want to do?
You know, if you guys just want to go talk to Timon on your own, I have something else I want to talk to Aesop about.
And you wouldn't get to see Uncle Timon. Come on.
No, it's such a shame.
Vegas. Come on. He's family.
It's like we can let him have a talk between some magic users, I guess.
No, come on. Magus is always trying to do this. Come on, it's Uncle Timon.
It's like, I'll come back here later, I guess.
All right, well, let's go search out Uncle Timon.
Cool. I'm just quickly listening to what I had
I'll
him
go to the
sound
nearest-
like before.
I'll go to the nearest manhole, open it up, and yell.
Oh boy.
That was his calling card, right?
Something
Okay.
like that.
I remember what he sounds like. Oh yeah, no. So his the way you call him is you stick your head in and you go, "Hey, Timon." You remember?
Timon!
There's a manhole about 50 feet down. His head pops up out of it. He goes, "Hey, Theo, what's up?"
Ah, the wretched side! How you doing?
Hey, you sound different. You code switching on me? I hear that.
No.
I hear the difference. Hey,
No.
I do it when I talk to my parents. They talk all fancy, and so do I. I go, "Oh, hello, mother, father. Yes, it's me, Timon. I've been doing well." And then I hang up and I go, "Oh, fuck. All right, that was too much." Anyway, you're alive. That's good. Where's my nephew? Is he dead? I figured he was gonna die. That's okay.
Yeah,
It's,
I made sure to bring him.
did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
I cast Thunderwave at 2nd level on myself.
Oh, that sounds like rat business back in a tunnel. I better go check it out. So they,
Hi,
when they,
Uncle Theo.
you did come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I was
yes.
going along
Oh,
with the
yes.
rest of the
Okay.
group, yeah.
Theo Geltibit.
Oh, thank Vulcan, you're alive. I thought you were a goner. I mean, I had complete confidence in you, and then Theo showed up without you, and I was like, oh, he's dead. He's dead. I knew it. I had no confidence in him. Oh, but you're back. You're alive. You look great. Anyway,
Thanks.
What? Good to see you as ever. Falvin, you got some stuff for me?
I do. I think I got everything here.
Oh,
I got,
fresh ingredients. Telling you what.
I got algae bloom.
Oh,
here.
oh, he takes a deep breath. Oh, that's funky. I like that. Yeah.
It's pretty slimy. I got some seed pods here
yeah.
from the reed.
He's got like a fishing tackle box that he pops out and like folds out. Got little side panels that fold out, and he's just like neatly arranging things. Like, okay, yep. I'll trim that up later. What was the next thing?
Some seed pods from the reed.
Oh, yep. Kind of bites down on it with his tooth. Yeah, it's the good stuff. Puts it in. Yeah. What else?
I think a failure to write it down.
I see a reed there. I see a small length of reed.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yes,
right
yes.
there.
Yes,
The bottom of my bag.
the most important part of the potion of water breathing. Anyway,
Small
tube
length
that
of
lets
reed
you
to
breathe.
stick up
Makes-
over the water.
Yeah, is he just gonna make snorkels for us? Is that what this is gonna be?
maybe.
He's just gonna do a bunch of drugs and give us snorkels.
It's perfect.
No. It's a whole potion. Yeah. So that was just me, like, because if you look at a lot of the spells in the player's guide, a lot of them are like jokes in terms of their components. Like the like lightning bolt spell is a glass rod and like a piece of wool, which is like basically to build up a shock and then like zap somebody. And then like fireball has like bat guano in it, and detect thoughts has a penny, like a copper piece, like a penny for your thoughts. So anyway, there's a bunch of those like jokes, and so that's a joke. Anyways, this is perfect. I mean, give me like an hour and I'll have this whipped up for you. No problem.
Great. I'll be back in an hour, and I go back to the Dragon Shrine.
He's always busy, always on the move. He's got people he knows. He's got dates. He's got a new date, doesn't he? I could tell. He's got that spring in his step. All right. Well, anyway, can I do anything else for you right now?
I mean,
No, that's about it.
You got some
How's the rat situation going?
Numbers are dwindling, and simultaneously growing. It's hard to say. Really, if the sewers were just one tiny room and they were all in one room together, it'd be a lot easier to tell exactly how many there are. But you know, it's a network, and I'm just one guy, so sometimes it seems like I'm having a good day and there's less, and sometimes it's a bad day and there's more. So
Yeah. Life is a network sometimes.
if only I could recruit some more rat killers. You know?
Well, I think Magus was actually talking about how he really was wanting to help you out with that.
He's a man with great ambitions, but I don't know that he's up for this, honestly.
Well, you never know until you have him do it.
This is a tough job. This is really hard. Like I know you guys are like, rescuing teenagers.
He's a hard worker. He loves getting dirty.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I misjudged him. Tell him if he's like ready to rethink his future and do something, really worthwhile. To come down and find me. Get off his high horse a little bit, and we'll talk. We'll make a deal.
Well, I'm saying, well, he seems like he wants to see more of you, so.
Oh well, I mean,
just pay him a visit every now and then.
Tell you what, you got.
This is what I get for leaving early. Not to defend myself.
Tell you what, I've got some vacation time saving up. I don't like to spend it. You guys get done for your next thing. I'll take a day off and we'll just we'll go look around at the vineyards. We'll go to the agora. We'll go to the play. We'll go to a play. How about that?
Yeah.
You guys have been to a play yet?
Vegas knows all the places to go. I mean, he is hooked up. He knows the finer things.
We'll go see a play. They're doing some great ones about the old Dragonlords. He loves that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, he loves it.
Yeah.
He would love that.
Oh, and they give me my own whole section up there. It's great. I'm like royalty. They're like, yeah. They know I can get in without a ticket, and so they just put me over in like my own box. It's great.
Wow. I guess I would love that.
Anyway, I'm running out of goofs, so why don't you guys go get a drink, and I'll get this fixed up. And hey, it looks like you got some poison ingredients in there too. I know you didn't mention those, but I'm gonna whip those up for you too. I know you're quiet, but that's okay. That's why I like you. That's why I like you.
All right.
All right, it's gonna be the best stuff you ever used. I promise.
Sweet.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, don't drink it. It's not gonna be sweet. Well, it'll be sweet, and that's how I get you. That's how I get you. Is because it's sweet, and then you die. So don't be fooled. Don't be a fool.
Right.
Falbin.
Right.
All right. Bye. And he ducks into the sewer. All right.
No, he's actually a pretty good dude,
Yeah, I feel like that went pretty well.
Hey,
Magus is like walking into the temple, and it's like, I feel a disturbance in the force.
So, think of it this way. Yes, you guys brought him a straw that's the potion of water breathing, but the real magic, how does he make enough for all of you? Right? It's kind of like...
Oh no, we have watered down potions of water breathing.
Oh no.
No. I just mean like...
It's like at the end of shampoo, you add a little bit of
No,
water.
I just mean even if it was just a straw that you used to breathe out of the water, he's offering to make enough for all of you, and you only brought him one piece of reed, so,
Just cut it up into sections.
Yeah.
Share reads.
What is that? Anyway, yeah. Where are you guys going next?
We have a party, don't we?
I did want to talk to Aesop
Yeah.
about a few things.
Yeah. What do you want to ask him?
First, I'm going to ask if it would be... First of all, would it be a desecration of this place to deal with something unholy while here?
Oh, I'm really worried about what you're going to say, but lay it on me. What do you mean?
I pull out the Necronomicon.
Oh, wow, that's horrifying. Is that skin?
Yes.
Yeah, probably not cookie recipes in there.
Right, I didn't want to open it until we knew a bit more.
Well, all right, come on over to the Cone of Sanctity. Let's do this. And he brings you over.
infamous cone.
Yep. You step into like an offshoot hallway, and there's like there's a runic circle that's just like permanently engraved into the ground. And you, it's like, do you want us in there with it, or just it in there?
I mean, well, I was going to try and identify it first.
Why don't we put it in the cone, and then you can identify it through
Right.
it. Okay. He lays it on the ground, and he uses Mage Hand to lay it on the ground. And
Well, identify requires touch.
oh, that's right.
He touches it with the mage hand. It doesn't say it has to be your touch.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to put you in the cone with the book, right? Because you gotta touch.
He just lifts Magus up and puts him in.
You gotta.
He has a very strong mage hand. It's been working out.
You have to touch it anyway, right? So
Yes.
might as well keep me alive.
And I will ritual cast identify.
Okay. He's just like pacing around the circle for 10 minutes while you ritual cast it. This is where did I put that? Yes. So I don't have like verbiage to give you, but inside is a description of a ritual of transformation. And through various illustrations and components and whatnot, this is a transformation that turns a human into a maenad. And there is an addendum to the ritual that talks about the Horn of Balmetria being used to enhance the efficacy of the ritual and its as well as its speed. So that combined with the Horn of Balmetria and this book, one could do this ritual almost instantaneously rather than it taking like days and weeks.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And
That makes, yeah.
one of the key components is that the subject in question must consume flesh of their own kind.
Teenagers.
Yeah.
Classic teenagers. And it is signed by Lutheria herself.
Okay. Well, I know what that was for.
Yeah, it's probably good that you took that.
Yes.
Does she know
I'm
you
go-
took it?
Not yet.
Huh, well,
Good thing we have peace.
yeah, you already made the deal.
Yep. And I will fill him in on the details of the oath.
Okay, yeah. He's like, wow, that's incredible. That's, we've lived in quiet fear of those woods for, centuries. This is great.
It's probably something that Honora should know as well, if we don't get the opportunity to meet with her.
I will stop by and let her know. Thank you. Wow. What a change. This is great. Everyone will be very excited.
And then I don't want to take up too much more time, but I am going to ask him, while we're near the Cone of Sanctity and kind of like a private area, I'm going to ask him if he knows of any ways to kill a dragon, if one had to.
I not being a Dragonlord myself, I was only witness to the strengths of my husband and his bonded dragon, and if there was a way, he would have never told me. He just told me about everything great about it. Nobody knows exactly how the last of them were killed, but in a fight against Sidon, I mean, storms are powerful things, and flying creatures perhaps don't take too well to hurricane level storms.
Shocking.
It's just, the more I read and the more I learn about dragons who turned traitorous, the more I fear.
A traitorous dragon is worthy of fear, absolutely.
Well,
It's a good thing they're gone, right? Though I wish to see.
Magus will just kind of swallow and.
Yeah. Oh, I long to see a Dragonlord atop a dragon again. Alas.
One day. But enough of morbid things. I think it is time that I and my companions go celebrate our achievements.
As well you should. There is already great talk about the Shepherds of the Lost. Apparently that's the new epithet.
Kyra is effective, isn't she?
Oh, yes, I think she could tell that the Heroes of the Oracle was wearing thin.
And I will rejoin the group.
Cool. Where are you guys at?
Hey, Magus, Uncle Tevin says goodbye, stop by now and then. He misses you.
I understood.
Shade would want to go by Vulcan
Okay.
and see if there's anything he can do for our pot situation to protect it in combat.
Ah.
Take my pot.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Good sack.
You guys swing by Vulcan's Hall and go inside. Oh. And he says, "Hey, Shade, you got a little wine on your mouth there, kind of staining your chin.
Oh, yeah,
Long night?"
yeah, something like that.
Well, always happy to see you. You got a look of a man who needs a job done. What can I help with?
Yeah, I've got a question for your for your ingenuity. And he would, kind of pull out the pot hanging from the rope, kind of sling type thing. We need to keep this with us.
Uh-huh.
But seeing how it's a clay pot, however magical it may be, we probably want to keep it from, inadvertently getting crushed or broken or hit in any type of, scuffle or anything. Is there anything you could do to help us with that?
He kneels down and he gently takes off one of his leather gloves and he says, "May I?"
Yeah, just be very careful with it. It's precious.
Yeah, he just kind of gingerly touches the side of the pot and just runs a finger over the bark, and he says, "This is like young and ancient at the same time. This is something else. Where did you get this?"
The old wood.
No, I mean, you aren't kidding.
I believe this is maybe a piece of the old wood.
He kind of darts an eye around you, over to Kyra, or amongst you. The like the one.
The one.
I see. And why do you have this? What do you plan to do with it?
Groot.
Oh.
I mean, that's all I needed to hear. Yeah. Here's an M1 Abrams battle tank.
That'll do.
Well, we hope to have it help us broker. I don't know about broker, but help us work towards peace. True peace, not the oath of peace or even the Titan's peace, but true peace. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't, but every little bit is worth a shot.
Son, this is a this is a powerful visual metaphor you've got here. He gives a long look at Kyra and he says, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" And she's like, "Why don't you tell me, Dad?" And he says, do you mind if I give it to him?
Give what? Shay just kind of looking back and forth between the two of them.
Give what to whom?
Give it to him like people give you a punch in the face, because I'd respectfully ask you to put the pot down first.
She just smiles and nods, and he digs around in a cabinet for a while, and he pulls out. It's like a big bread basket made of bronze, and it's got like a half dome lid to it that looks like it overlaps in like layers. And he says, let's just say this is something an overprotective parent might want for a little one. And it's basically a bronze bassinet with like a think from the Mandalorian, the thing that that the child rides around in. It's basically that. And he takes the pot, and it's not like perfectly made for it, but he says he can adjust the lining, but it fits nicely in there, and with a little knock on the side, the lid goes and closes shut, and he says, "Hey, get this too." He speaks a command word, which I don't have right now, but it begins to float just slightly above the floor. Basically, this it has like a built-in tiny little Tensor's floating disk.
Oh man.
Yes.
Well, this is
It's exactly
far above what I was expecting.
It's exactly
wow.
the thing from the Mandalorian.
Perfect.
Vulcan, we'll talk later about supersizing this into a tank.
What are you talking about? All Theo needs to do is summon his little tiny turret and put it on top of that.
Yeah, but that's a smaller, tiny thing, and we want a big tank.
Oh man.
He says, you can give it your own command word, but whoever speaks the command word, it'll follow you around like a little puppy. So, and once this thing's closed, it's pretty tough. And I'll come up with like when it's closed, it has full cover and like a certain AC and HP. So something has to break through that in order to damage what's inside. So.
Nice.
It is not big enough for any of you to fit in, just so you know.
What about
the
Rue?
gnome? Where do we leave the gnome?
The gnome might be able to fit. He'd be pretty smooshed in there. Rue could fit. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah. He hands you the keys.
That's why. Thank you. This is amazing.
Hey, I'm not using it.
Well, hopefully we can put it to good use.
Hey, if next time I see you, it doesn't have some scratches, I'd be disappointed.
Well, we're gonna try and keep those scratches to a minimum.
I cast heat metal.
He says about that, Magus, no, never mind. It'll come. It'll come.
So if we get you to the forge, this is the type of thing you'll be able to make easily?
Oh, and more.
Oh man, we need to get past those centaurs.
Yeah, that's the next thing.
But one thing at a time.
You just give me the all clear when it's ready, and I will pack my things and come join you.
Well,
Is that where you're headed off to next?
Not quite. First, we gotta finish the rest of the things here. Hopefully, save your granddaughter.
Oh, right, yeah.
Thor's daughter.
Right, yes. I was like, who are you talking about? Yeah. Yeah.
Kyra is pregnant.
What happened on that long walk in the forest in the dark?
Oh boy. All right. Yeah. No. He. Cool. All right.
Cool.
We're almost to 11, so I guess we could end on like a just you guys partying in the Dragon's Tooth, or were you wanting to go ahead and start trying to track down the river monsters?
I'm good with the partying.
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah, we can do the party for a few hours.
Yeah, cool. Is there anything in particular you guys want to do while partying? Because I know we don't have a lot of time to RP, but cake balls are
Yes.
yep.
Yep.
Easy.
While we're kind of gathered around the table, like I will look to like I will try and get Alvin and Theo together.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay. So while I was looking at that weird like temple light construction, I had an idea. So, Alvin, like even though we have established that we can talk by looking at a dinner plate, that's still not great. So, Theo, do you think you could rig up something like the mirror tubes? So it like something like your monocle, instead of a lens, it was like reflected through silver, and it could be like a mask or something, and then you could look people in the eye when you talk to them.
What do you think, Falvin? Would you be interested in R&D required to make something like that? Are you asleep? Are you here? Am I here?
You're here.
I'm in a dream.
I'm muted.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. There
He
he
was
is.
just thinking long and hard.
That's what I thought. I'm like, Falvin thinks a lot.
This is an interesting idea, but it does bear danger to me.
Oh, so.
Should a Medusa ever see their reflection, they will be forever stone.
And this is why you talk with the client.
So, I'm saying Magus almost killed you when he first saw you with the plate, seeing your own reflection.
It was a risk worth taking.
I see. Well, maybe we should just put that on the back burner.
There is something we could do. There is a stomach acid of the basilisk that we could have almost as a EpiPen should I ever succumb, and perhaps this experiment is worth having.
EpiPens. Basilisk. How hard do you have that on hand?
That is a... We're gonna be going on a quest if we're gonna go get that.
All right, then we'll probably get that first and then start experimenting. Just saying.
Well, I would hate to call upon you to risk your life twice in as many days, but I just hate rules like this.
It would be something if we could do something about the stigma at my kind face.
Yes. To birds! Raise my tankard.
To the birds!
A resounding cheer of the birds. And then down with the rats, right?
To the birds and down with the rats!
A brief like glimpse of panic like crosses Magus' face when someone yells that.
Timon, he's here. No, he's not. He's not allowed here.
Hey, he can get into anywhere though.
That's
He knows
true.
how.
He knows. He knows the way. Oh boy. All right. Well, that's a solid place to wrap up. I know we didn't have any combat this time, but there was a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys. Go ahead and stop the recording.